Good afternoon. Welcome to today's webinar on how to utilize our new ninth grade curriculum. So first things first, where do you find this curriculum? On our Handy Dandy Advisory page, you're going to go to the green button that says Curriculum Resources. Once you click on this button, you're going to go to ninth grade curriculum. You'll see new curriculum. We have some old curriculum that was created last summer. These are model lessons that you can feel free to use that are aligned to the CLL framework. And then we've developed a whole entire curriculum that's aligned to our CLL framework with several lessons in it. And so we're going to click here. I have to give a special shout out to our team of teachers who put together all of these lessons. I have Patricia Ibarra from Animo South Los Angeles. I have Tamika Hildreth from Animo Watts, and also Luis Alvarez from Animo Watts. And we also have some special guest feature students I will mention later on in the webinar. To get started, we have a ninth grade curriculums instruction PowerPoint that you want to click on. This video will be embedded into this ninth grade curriculum instructions. Inside here, you'll find our first slide, which talks about we have 77 lessons designed to last between 45 to 60 minutes in a weekly outline that are aligned to the College Leadership in Life framework. And the lessons fit into these three themes: academic consultancy, leadership in life, and then note there's social emotional learning and restorative practices. For our social emotional learning restorative practices, we have a circle template where you can populate with special design topics that meet the needs of you and your students. To go further, if you click here, this takes you back to the folder that we were originally in, where you can find the different groups of lessons. So you'll see the academic consultancy lessons, and they're all in order. So you'll see Unit 1, Lesson 0 and 0.1. I wanted to shout out ODLH actually created an intro to academic consultancy that's super awesome for all schools to adopt and make their own. And then we had some amazing students. I'm actually going to click on their lesson for a moment. They were summer interns. Jacqueline Carrillo and Gabby Cabrera created this SMART goal lesson. We have actually two lessons, this one, and then there's also a social media lesson in the leadership in life section. So please check these out because they're designed by some students near you. Going back to our instruction manual, this will take us into our important information that you should definitely know. Academic consulting lessons, it's important that conferencing is done at least once a week. And ideally, you will get through at least 80% of your students within a month, and then 20% of your students are probably going to be students who have additional needs that you may want to see 2 to 3 times a month. Some schools are opting into the Legacy Mastery curriculum. It is recommended that this is done once a week. Leadership in life lessons should be done about once a week as well. And the curriculum, as I have mentioned through all of our PD trainings before, is designed to support all schools. So feel free to customize it to fit the needs of your schools. Take a lesson, make a copy of it, and make it your own Animo version. Also, don't feel pressure to do all of the lessons. Choose and pick the ones that work for you, or if they all work for you, then great. Please note, one thing to help really drive awareness and also empower students with the CLL pillars, it would be great if you could post a CLL framework in all of your classrooms, either the regular version or the hashtag version, and also encourage teachers to begin using the language. It is the idea that advisory leads should select and distribute lessons weekly. All advisory teachers should spend about 5 to 10 minutes reviewing and customizing each lesson to their own classroom. So everyone's classroom looks a little bit different. Your students are a little bit different. So you want to familiarize yourself so that you can make the biggest impact. Some important academic consultancy notes. So I talked about the fact that we really want students to have a conference at least once a month, all students, if not more. This is important so that students can be guided on how to create strategic academic plans, their systems of accountability, and they can receive the supports to understand how to be strategic in tackling their academic goals. Note, if patterns of struggle are observed over multiple weeks for EL students, special education students, or any students, please engage your grade level team and administrative supports. Also note, each lesson was designed to teach students about study skills, high school, or college in conjunction with developing strategies for becoming excellent students and managing their grades. You'll see lessons on Google Sheets, Cornell Notes. This really gives students the opportunity to develop the study habits that they may or may not have. Here is an ideal academic consultancy agenda, where you spend about 15 to 20 minutes in a mini lesson teaching students new study skills or college knowledge. And then you actually go into the academic growth support tool where students can actually reflect on their grades. It is most ideal to have students have access to a computer where they can check their PowerSchool as they simultaneously are able to track their growth progress. Students may finish work quickly, and so this time can be maximized by allowing students to either make up missing assignments, make up missing assignments, B, typing club so that they can become competitive not just in the classroom but in the workforce one day, and then C, there is Khan Academy and a host of other resources. Teachers should close the class with a wrap-up, and you can decide on what routine works best for your students, but you want your students to leave the room feeling empowered and ready to take on the next week of school. Here are some additional suggested activities for academic consultancy days. Here also is the tools, the academic growth supports tool, where students can fill out what they need in terms of how their grades are progressing, and then also the academic consultancy tracker is the teacher version so that you can keep track of what was your conversation like. We understand you may have 20 to 30 kids and that may be a lot to manage, and so this tracker is designed to support you in this work. For our leadership and life lessons, we've created 31 lessons. The lessons in this series are designed to support a few important topics including transition to high school, bullying, social justice, and really importantly, Project Soapbox. Please note we left room in the curriculum intentionally for you to be able to leverage your school site lessons and units that have been effective for your students already. Once again, I can't iterate this enough. Please customize to fit the needs of your school and your students. If you're the Bulldogs, maybe throw some Bulldogs in there. If you are the Eagles, throw some Eagles in there. Please feel free to also include photos of your students. Students love to see themselves on the slides. In terms of our social emotional learning / restorative practice, we have our circle lessons, which you can find here. We'll click on this link in just a second. But then also we have the Legacy Mastery curriculum. Many of you have opted into this curriculum, and this will allow you to have a mindset developing curriculum that will help cultivate your ninth graders and their strength of mind, as well as their strength of will and strength of heart. It's completely aligned to the CLO framework. Feel free to use this as day 3 or one of your days. In terms of circle lessons, if you're not using this curriculum, this can be a great resource. We have a circle guide for you. It really talks you through, gives you teacher slides in terms of how to create this lesson to make it work for your school site. If you get into social political topics, there's a guide here. There's a CCEJ link, and then it really talks about the specifics, what you want to do with your students so that you're most impactful. Going back to our guide, the Legacy Mastery curriculum can be found. There's a link to the site here, so you can just click on that and that will take you that. As we close out, if you need any additional support at all, please reach out to your Leadership and Life Coordinator, Charlie Kemp, 213-709-9315. Feel free to ask any questions or shoot any emails over. Thank you and have an awesome school year.